When we had talked about the Dinosaur, we had mentioned that it lived alongside a few other prehistoric animals, and one of them is the subject of today, the Ornithocheirus. A very recognizable pterosaur due to its large crest on its beak, as well as its very striking color scheme. But besides being a beautiful pterosaur, the Ornithocheirus is quite unique in a couple of ways. To begin, some of you might recognize this as the biggest pterosaur ever, or at least it was once thought to be. Many viewers of the show Walking with Dinosaurs might recognize the Ornithocheirus for its striking representation in the show, although they claim it had a 12-meter wingspan and that its body was as big as a man's. This was based on incorrect data and has since been corrected. This male is quite a big specimen, reaching an approximate 6-meter long wingspan. Although this doesn't mean the show was entirely incorrect with everything they said about this giant pterosaur. In the show, it is said that they are nomadic. They travel the world without a specific home, which is true for the real-life version too. The Ingen Ornithocheirus has been seen flying over entire countrysides, into different continents, even across seas. Over 20 specimens have been ID'd, and none of them follow a specific flight pattern. Some scientists have even nicknamed them the Lost Travelers, as it seems they have no specific direction, no home, no nothing. Just traveling the skies. Going back to Walking with Dinosaurs, one thing they did actually get right is the teeth that the Ornithocheirus had. In fact, the Ornithocheirus is famous for being one of the largest toothed pterosaurs ever found. The Ingen variant, however, does not possess any teeth, instead having a completely toothless frame. Other subtle inaccuracies include a lack of pycnofibers, and while there is still some on the body, there is not nearly enough, as well as having a long tail, which Ornithocheirus is not known to have had. But these differences have not hindered it at all. In fact, as I said earlier, the Ornithocheirus has quite a few individuals that are flying amongst the skies. This is due to how the females usually lay up to 50 eggs, and only about 10% of those actually survive. A good way to tell the difference between a male and female Ornithocheirus is due to the very prevalent sexual dimorphism in them. The specimen we've been following is a male, and you can easily tell based on the red along the beak, as well as the prominent nose crest. Now, some of you might be wondering why I'm talking about the Ornithocheirus during a season of carnivores. Well, as it turns out, this is very much a carnivorous pterosaur. Instead of vultures dining on the remnants of dead animals, the Ornithocheirus has seemed to take up that position itself. To add on to that, the male that we see here is currently searching for insects to eat. After determining a lack of food, he flies off to continue his nomadic life. However, thankfully, they seem to be somewhat scared of people, so there has been no attacks on humans as of the last 2 years we've known about the species. Last thing to note is that you may see some similarities in this pterosaur and its close cousin, the Tropicgnathus. Fun fact about the Tropicgnathus, actually, the size estimate used in Walking with Dinosaurs is based off the Tropicgnathus itself, but that's more for a video of its own, and that's all I have on the Ornithocheirus. Thank you for watching this episode, and as always, if something chases you, run.